Hi, everyone. Meteorologist Danielle and Matt Noyes here for the 1 Degree Outside Weather Network. Exciting news. Our app has launched.
That's right. Yeah. The Apple App Store you'll find. And so when you download it, what do you want to search for?
You want to search for Noyes, the number 1 degree outside. That will pop up. You can actually search 1 degree outside too. It'll pop up either way. And then you can just hit download and it will be on your phone.
That's right. And when you open it up, first thing you see is the launch screen. From there, you go into the home screen that we have here behind us. So anytime that we've updated a new video, if there's a video that's pertinent, it'll be right up at the top of the screen. So you don't see it here, but you would see it anytime there's an active video. Below that, you've got your current conditions. You've got your interactive radar snapshot. If you tap it, it opens up into a bigger window. Also, you've got your hourly forecast where you can scroll right on the home screen. You can scroll out across 24 hours. If you tap it, you'll get out longer than that. And then, of course, you've got your 14-day forecast, which on the home screen only shows you 5. But again, tap it, opens up all 14 days, and all the way at the bottom.
Underneath, there's blog insights, so those will be posted. And then underneath that, there's an interactive button that you can press for live streaming. So any sort of storms or anytime we're live, you can see it right there by clicking on that.
And most of the time we're not live, which is why we put it at the bottom, but we can send out a push notification when we're going to be live, so you'll know about it. All right, meanwhile, if you want to get in there and you want to add in your location,
yes,
it's actually pretty easy to do.
It's really kind of cool, too, because you can pinpoint it. We'll talk about that in a second, but you can put in any zip code, any town, and it's going to bring you the forecast. And then after that, you'll be able to set different locations.
And the way you're going to do that is at the top of the home screen. I can go back again. At the top of the home screen, you can see way up the top is where you've got the town listed. So we put in Haverhill and Weymouth by default because I grew up in Haverhill, Weymouth. So a little tip of the cap to our hometowns, but you can delete those pretty easily because once you tap on that location, it opens up your ability to, again, put in either your zip or your city. And then again, with Haverhill and Weymouth, just click those little 3 dots next to it and hit delete if you don't want them to be in there. But don't leave it at your zip code or your city.
I mean, those are big towns, big cities, right?
Yes.
So you can, it's a really cool feature. You can pinch and zoom and you can pinpoint your back deck, your driveway, your yard. It's really neat. So you can zoom in, you can press pinpoint right here on the map, and then you can pinch and zoom and be able to set a lot of different locations, but where exactly you want it.
Yeah, and before you get to that map you were talking about, basically to get there, to get the pinpoint, it's the 3 dots that are to the right of the location. You touch that, you get this menu that shows up. And then that map that Danielle was referring to was if you press pinpoint, you'll see the pin, you can move it around, pinch and zoom, get wherever you need to be. There are other settings for your location. We certainly would suggest enable notifications. You might not want that for everywhere because you can do multiple locations.
I was going to say, you want to set your, best friend down in Florida. You want to set where you go to vacation. You want to set your mom and dad's house. You can set Aunt Susie, like literally as many locations as you want.
But you might not want to get notified by all of them. And that's what the enable notifications part is here. If you don't want to get notified about Aunt Susie's tornado that's headed for her house,
well, maybe you do.
Then you can turn off notifications for that. But it's just something to be aware of anyway. And then the other stuff is kind of self-explanatory. Move to top, delete, and all of that.
Nickname, you can put home,
But you can put a bunch of them in there. So see how many you can do. Let us know if you hit a maximum on it.
And this is the pinch and zoom feature. So it brings you to the map and you can literally pinch, zoom, go right into that pinpoint, and then it will set it.
Yeah, I actually set it up for our weather station we have out in our front yard. So I could see how, we did like 6 beta tests to get this thing off the ground. And so I was setting it for the exact spot of the weather station. And I'm sorry to say that there were times we were a degree off. And it was very disappointing.
Wow.
I was hoping we wouldn't be a degree off.
I didn't know you said it for that. That's
but
really
we are
cute.
1 degree outside.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what do you expect? Okay, the other thing is when you go back to the home screen, all right, there's the 3 bars in the upper right corner. That's your settings, right? If you click on that, well, first you get a picture of us, and then underneath that is your settings. If you click on settings, you get the option to do notifications as well.
And the thing is, there's so many notification choices. So you turn them on or off, whether you want, and then you can actually select. Maybe you only want the tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning. Maybe you only want when there's winter storms. You're really into that. You're a geek. Winter months, you want to set some of that. You can customize those.
I'm a little offended of the geek comment, but that's okay.
I looked at you when I said that.
I know you did. So here's the thing. Look, if you don't want to get notified up the wazoo, I would still suggest allow the app to give you notifications when it asks for them. But here is where you can customize it. The top one, that's the ones from us. Of course you want those. No, but seriously, those are the ones that we type in manually as meteorologists. So that's what that is. Then when you open up the weather notifications under it, that's where there's all the warnings and everything you might get from the government, things of that nature. So you can turn those off and on. You can pick whichever ones you want. The only ones that aren't government warnings are lightning and precipitation. Lightning would be there's lightning in your vicinity. I think it's kind of important to know, but if you don't want it, you can turn it off. And precipitation is there's heavy rain headed for you or going to arrive in 20 minutes. Some people find that annoying. If you want to turn that off, you could, but you could still leave the rest like a tornado warning on. You know what I mean?
I liked how you did that voice, by the way.
Yes.
Because that's what the voice sounds like.
Pretty
And
much.
speaking of which, there are sounds you can choose to have the voice.
easy.
That's what you see here down the bottom. So you can customize that too. If you don't want someone's,
Right.
you might.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you get sick of the computerized voice, then we can just put our own voices over that as well. That's just fine. So something to keep in mind there. Here's more on that weather type on alerting. So you can turn off. You can see what we mean.
You can toggle
whatever type you want on or off. Fine. You don't want to hear about one. You don't have to. Okay. Brings us to the 14-day forecast, which down the tabs at the bottom of the app, you've got the home tab where you can see a preview of the 14-day, 5 days worth. You've got the hourly tab, which is really cool. You see sunrise, sunset, what time rain will begin and end. That's kind of neat. But the 14-day tab we're really proud of. So y'all know that, I was the first one to launch a 10-day forecast in Boston years ago, and you were on our NECN team
I know.
when we launched that 10-day. So really, we did it together. And so that was like 10 years ago, right? And we look and say, look, the technology is still going places. So to be able to do a 14-day absolutely is not hogwash. It's something that's at least good guidance.
And I think it's awesome because there's so many scenarios when I want to look out next week, away on vacation, or the kids have a plan, or the next week, this is awesome. So you can click the little arrow and expand it.
Yeah, well, that's actually an
14
important
days.
point, right? So basically, you can see what we did here is we tapped one of the days, and it gives you the full explanation for day and night. And so then if you tap it again, it'll close it. But you can do that for any one of the 14 days. The other thing is we are one of the only apps in the country that actually puts the morning low before the afternoon high. So when you look at that, it's a little bit of kind of a, this kind of mind trick on you because you're thinking about, okay, how do I read? It's normally I see the high first, but in this case, it really is, okay, my morning starts at 52 and ends at 74 in the afternoon. You can kind of read it right all the way across.
And I like that it's color coded too.
Right.
That kind of helps with that.
Makes it quick. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Interactive radar, it's called radar, the tab at the bottom.
So you can click it. I'm actually going to open it up on my phone too, because there are so many features with the interactive radar, which is fantastic, but you want to play around with it a little bit.
We can't see your phone though, right?
No,
so
but I just
so see right there, there.
No, I just want to make sure I'm showing all of these special tabs.
Okay, well, while you do that, these are the special tabs that Danielle's going to be looking at only to herself on her phone. And you can see, we actually can see that pretty good. That's not bad. Now, it's interesting. You did that white base map. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
I don't like the white base map. I like the green one with the satellite underneath it. You can see all the features. But anyway, you can choose your overlay. One thing that I would say, Danielle, is when you've got the radar, and this is not in this one. I don't think it's in the next one either now. But when you've got the radar up, there is on the lower right, there's a little word past.
Yes.
If you press it, it's past plus future.
Yes.
If you press it again, it's future. I would not leave it on future. Future doesn't include the current radar. It's only the forecast of what's supposed to happen, right? So even if it's a little bit off, you're going to miss what's going on right now.
But if you're like, it's raining out, and you pull it up,
Right.
it's not showing it. It's not because you don't have the current.
I would do past, which shows a loop up until now, if you press the play button, or I would just do past plus future, which will show you up to now, and then give you a little bit of a forecast as well. I know you love to geek out with all the data things. What did you put up here?
So I put up the current temperatures. So there's so many different layers you can pick, but it's really neat to actually have the numbers on there with the contour underneath. You can pin, and this is interactive, like you said. You can pinch and zoom. You can move around. Maybe you can see, when there's a backdoor front's coming in, you can see the temperatures.
Absolutely. There's overlays that you can do. There's weather type data that you can put on there, alerts and warnings, all that stuff. And then, all right, so you liked this map. Did you like it? Why? Because you can get like street level mapping on it when you zoom in.
You can. It's pretty neat, but you can, like you said, you can change the background. So you can pick 3 different types, the lighter map, the darker one, the satellite. So actually I had it on satellite the other day, and then I just switched it just to mix it up.
And actually, I think it's a great idea, because here's the thing is that I like the satellite stuff because I like to see the features, but whenever there's a severe thunderstorm or a tornado or something like that, I'm going to want to see the streets that it's on.
Right.
And so I'm going to switch over to the street you like.
So the way you do that, by the way, is you click on the overlays section, which is one tab over there, and you can pick up, it says overlays.
Let's
and
go
then
back. Okay, so it's somewhere.
No.
I see it. Yep. I see. Yep. Oh, there's the overlays.
So you can pick overlays, alerts, map types, and that's where you can choose it under map
Awesome.
types.
All right, very good. So it's kind of a rundown on things for you. There is a send to us tab where your videos and photos, you can send them in to us. The only thing we would say is please don't forget your location. So many times we get things like, look at this tornado that's happening right now. And we're like, oh my gosh.
We want to share it. We want to share it.
We can't tell anyone about it. We have to say everyone can be under the gun. So just make sure that you include that too. And look, bottom line, we put this in our write-up on this, but when it comes to your privacy, when it comes to your location, when it comes to your data, we're like a couple with kids and we love the weather. So we have zero interest in your private data. The only reason it's asking for your location and to send you notifications and all that is so you can get good weather information, because that's what this is all about.
So when you first download it, click always
allow
always do it.
location. Yep.
Because sometimes you do, press it this one time and then it will keep asking.
Probably
Just
should
saying.
mention that.
That's okay. Now we know.
That's right.
And we're good. If you have any other questions or feedback, ratings come up too. You can rate the app and put a little comment in there too.
That's right. Our email, contact@onedegreeoutside.com if you have any questions or concerns. Thanks, everybody.